co-main event of the night. Rafael Fiziev versus Justin Gaethje. Guaranteed banger. Like there's, you can get excited about some of these, main card, pay-per-view fights, co-main events, main events, and they can end up being done. Like, let's be truthful. John Jones, Cyril Gahn sounded good, had the most hype, I believe, of any fight this year, or maybe a fight in a couple years. Um, we had one for one pound for pound number one versus pound for pound number two, in Islam and Volk, and Islam complained that it was not enough push behind the fight. It was not enough promotion. They didn't um, sell it the way that the fight should have been sold, with number one going against number two. John Jones and Cyril Gahn didn't have that same problem. It was pushed and pushed and in our face and pushed all week, all week. And then the fight happened, and it was, cool to see John Jones back in there, but it was a letdown. It was not an exciting fight in the least bit. Didn't even last around, and we all know what happened. I can guarantee you that this fight will be exciting. There's not guarantee, book it. This fight will be exciting. Fiziev, I mean, he comes to do damage. Fight with Bobby Green, back and forth, guys in each other with great shots. All 3 rounds. It was a battle, a war. Fiziev ended up on top of that. His fight with RDA. I'm not even sure if Fiziev was winning that fight. It may have been 2-2 going into the fifth, but RDA did a great job of um, leading the dance, putting pressure on him, clinching, putting him up against the fence, trying to take him down. But he struggled. He had a hard time taking him down, and by that, Fiziev powers carries. His power carries. We've seen it through 5 rounds. So this is only a 3 round fight. I can expect the pace to be insane. And Fiziev is 12-1, 8 knockouts, and he looks like, he's the next one. He's one of the guys that's gonna be in the top five for this division for a long time. Justin Gaethje has been top five in this division for a very long time, and he doesn't want to give up his position. I can guarantee you that. 23-4. I mean, you can go down the list of his fight with Poirier. I mean, he's been in battles as well. His fight with Michael Chandler. Like, Justin Gaethje is I don't want to just call him a brawler, because I mean, he's such a good fighter, such a good fighter, such a well-rounded fighter. And for the longest time, we were saying, like, he has the wrestling. He also can resort to the wrestling, but he chooses to stand up and fight. He chooses to have these wars on the feet. But he has that in his back pocket, that he can always wrestle. Um, or contain the wrestling in the case of the fight with Michael Chandler. He can against somebody that's, if he's hurting him on the feet and want to try to get it to the ground, he can prevent the fight from taking place on the ground. So well rounded, so good. But in my eyes, when you have two guys who fight and don't mind being in a war, at some point, the older guy is gonna start to wear now. I mean, it's just logic. I mean, it's over time. The more and more shots that you take, the more and more beating that you take, it's gonna be harder and harder to take those punches. It's gonna be harder and harder to survive those tough moments. And I think we kind of seen a glimpse of that in the Charles Oliveira fight. Now he hurt him. He hurt Oliveira, just like Habib. I mean, not Habib. Just like Poirier hurt Oliveira, but Oliveira was able to come back and finish both of those guys. And I think a similar Dustin and Justin, kind of similar. Like they've been in so many wars that as it drags on, as the fight gets longer, even though I think Gaethje was finished in the first, but as the fight goes on longer, they're gonna start to wear down. They're gonna start to wear down, and I believe that this fight will be a war. It's only 3 rounds. It's only 3 rounds. So I think, in a sense, that favors Justin. I I believe that Justin's path to victory is one of his strongest weapons, the leg kicks. I believe that if he is able to damage Fiziev's front leg, stop his movement because he can bounce around the cage. He can move pretty well. If you're able to slow his movement and take some of the sting out of his shots, you'll be able to then be able to use your striking to wear him down. But he has to. It is imperative that he damages Fiziev's legs and stops his movement. Because if we're just standing, if this is just going to be a fight that takes place on the feet, and Fiziev is able to get out of the way of those leg strikes, and you guys are just going tit for tat back and forth, I believe that Fiziev carries more power. I believe that Justin is more. I just remember his fight with Tony. It was more of volume. Yeah, he delivers with power. Yeah, he finished. I believe he has 19 knockouts. Yeah, he Justin is Justin has an amazing stand-up game. But I believe that the younger, fresher, more spry Fiziev has not been in these situations that Justin has been in, and is more. It's just I believe he's just more fresh. I believe he's more fresh, and I don't know if that's the greatest MMA take, but I believe he's more fresh. I believe he carries more power. I believe Justin doesn't want to wrestle. One, because I know people have said that Justin's wrestling can be the difference. Justin doesn't want to wrestle, and Fiziev has great takedown defense. I don't believe that Justin should. I believe he should threaten it. If you have a good wrestling game, I believe you should threaten it. Yes, every so often you should shoot, just to make them aware, just to make them a second, um, make them think even a half a second about, is he going to shoot on me? Yes, you should. You should mix in the takedowns, but that should not be a focus of this fight. Maybe towards the end of a round, boom, shoot, get him down. Have him think about that. Have him store that in his back of his brain. He may shoot. He may try to take me down. Tear them legs up. Shoot every so often, just to have his Fiziev thinking and afraid of what you may do. But I believe that at this point, Justin's stubborn. I do think he will try to tear up his legs, but he's gonna stand up and he's gonna try to brawl with him. I think that when you have two title shots and you lose, you had the interim, but if you have two title shots and you lose both of them, and you're still trying to fight and claw get back to the top, but somebody's young and hungry and has never had the taste of the top, and they're so determined and focused on getting to that championship shot. I think Fiziev is just going to have a little bit too much for Justin in this fight. I think he's going to have a little bit too much. And I think his power is going to carry the day. So I'm going with Rafael Fiziev over Justin Gaethje.